Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. तदिदम गीता शास्त्रम समस्त वेदार्थ सार संग्रह भूतम दुर्विज्ञेयार्थम. Having introduced what Gita is, what dharma is, and telling that this dharma shastra is contained as the essence of all the scriptures put together, is Bhagavad Gita. And it is not so easy for an average person to comprehend, because of the biasness that we have in the mind, because of the obsession that we have in our mind. Like, Bhagwan Shankaracharya will see Jnanam, knowledge, in Bhagavad Gita. Madhvacharya will see devotion in Bhagavad Gita. Ramanujacharya will see Vishishta Advaita in Bhagavad Gita. And we see difficulties in Bhagavad Gita. So, depending upon the type of student who is studying Bhagavad Gita, things are seen. Therefore, durvidneyartham, it is difficult to comprehend. Tad artha avishkaranaya anekaihi vivruta padapadartha vakyartha nyayam api अत्यंत विरुद्ध अनेक अर्थकत्वेन लौकिकैः गृह्यमाणम् उपलभ्य अहम विवेकतः अर्थ निर्धारणार्थं संक्षेपतः विवरणं करिष्यामि. Now Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, tad artha aviškaranaaya, for the correct comprehension of Bhagavad Gita, what is said in Bhagavad Gita means what is the upakrama, upasamhara, then what is the abhyasa, what is the arthavada, what is the phala, etc. And what is the vishaya, adhikari, prayojana and sambandha. So these four aspects. Tadartha avishkaranaya अनेकैहि विवृत पद पदार्थ वाक्यार्थ न्यायम अपि. There are many people who have tried to put forward word by word, statement by statement. Pada is word, padartha is the meaning of the word, vakyartha is the sentence, vakyartha is the meaning of the sentence, vakya and vakyartha. So anekaihi, by many, this approach was taken. They have taken each and every word, explained it, analyzed it. Similarly, they have taken the total statement and then again analyzed and tried to find out what is said. Although this is done, atyanta viruddha aneka arthatvena, but as a result of this too much of analysis, understanding, it has ultimately culminated into contradictions. Viruddha anekarthatvena. So, what is concluded by one commentator is contradicted by other commentator. Because whenever you comment, naturally comparison comes. And when comparison comes, what is said is not important. But what I said is important. And therefore others are to be contradicted. And therefore atyanta viruddha anekarthatvena laukikaihi gruhyamanam. And therefore by the people there is a contrary understanding because of these contradictions everywhere. Therefore aham, I, vivekataha artha nirdharanartham sanksepataha vivaranam karishyami. And therefore I am going to present by proper discrimination for the correct understanding of the import of Gita, Sankshepataha, in a short way, not very long way. Vivaranam Karishyami, I shall now expound on what is said in Bhagavad Gita, taking every word into consideration, taking every sentence into consideration, and taking the import of every word and sentence in that particular context, so that people will be freed from the contrary meaning in their mind and will come to comprehend the correct meaning of what is Bhagavad Gita saying. Now, this is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya said. But he forgot that the ignorance is more genius than the wisdom. So out of the same Shankaracharya, many Shankaracharyas came out and constantly fighting on one or the other. And where is what Bhagwan Shankaracharya said and where it is all going? So, Sankshepataha aham vivaranam karishyami. Tasya asya Gita Shastrasya Sankshepataha prayojanam param nishreyasam. So, of this Gita Shastra, of which I am going to expound and give you an account, the prayojanam param, what is the supreme purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Nishreyasam is realization of the truth. Nishreyas, the absolute good. Nishreyas means absolute good. So what is the absolute good for a relative sufferer? To discover the absolute reality. Because this principle I told you earlier also, in relativity there is no problem that can have any solution. In absolute there is no problem that needs any solution. You just contemplate on this statement, see how deep it is. Like, when you are on the surface of the ocean, there are many waves. As you go deeper and deeper, all the waves disappear. There is nothing called as wave. In the same manner, at the surface, man, woman, young, old, beautiful, ugly, educated, uneducated. As you go deeper and deeper and deeper and come to yourself alone, where there is no comparison possible, there is no duality existing. So when there is no duality existing, in the absolute reality, there is neither man nor woman, neither young nor old, neither creation nor destruction, neither bound nor liberated. Na nirodho na cha utpatti na baddho na cha sadhakaha na muktaha na mumukshurvai ittesha paramarthata. That is the absolute reality. So this is the param prayojanam. This is the ultimate for the study of Bhagavad Gita. Why we should study? For making it more popular? No. That is not the purpose. For making every child recite Bhagavad Gita? No, don't worry about it. See? This is how we dilute the purpose of the study of the scriptures. So, Tasyasya Gita Shastrasya Sankshepataha Prayojanam Param Nishreyasam Sahetukasya Samsarasya Atyanta Uparapalakshanancha. And how this absolute good can be attained? It is of the nature of Samsarasya Sahetukasya Atyanta Uparamalakshanam. What is the meaning of absolute good? See, Nishreyasam is defined in the next three words. Atyanta Uparama Lakshanam. Absolute absence. Absolute absence of what? Samsarasya. Of the relativity. Now please understand, we will be translating this word samsara as relativity. There is no other word that I find more appropriate than this. Because only in the relativity there are problems. So samsara will be always treated as relativity. So there will be total negation, absence of relativity. Sahetukasya, along with the cause. So what is the cause because of which the relativity has come into existence? So the param nishreyasam, the absolute good is that where the cause and the effect because of which the relativity is created are totally absent. This is what is called as ekameva dvitiya neha nanasti kinchana. Unless we come to realize this absolute reality, we will be only struggling for one or the other thing. See, if you see even great Mahatmas who are engaged in doing good to the world, this thing, that thing, they are also at times so disgusted. I came across many Mahatmas. Sometimes I don't know why did I start all this nonsense. Even this statement comes once in the mind. There is a seed of disgust somewhere deep inside. See? Because something has been started. And why we start something? Because we think this is all real. Paramatma is something unreal. So, sahetukasya samsarasya atyanta uparama lakshanam taccha sarvakarma sannyasa purvakat atmajnan nishtha rupat dharmat bhavati. And this is where everybody is against Bhagavan Shankaracharya. And taccha, that nishreyasam, how it can be attained? Sarvakarma sannyasa purvakat. Unless you renounce all the undertakings, all the activities, all the projects. Sarva karma sannyasa purvakat. After that only what will happen? Atma jnana nishtha rupat. Then only you will be able to firmly abide in the self, not otherwise. So two things. Your attention will be on yourself only if there is nothing that is bothering you. See how important it is. If you are here and if a most silly thing, whether the tap was open or closed when I came, enough. Your mind will diverge from the absolute reality and get washed in the dirty water. That's it. Therefore, unless sarva karma sannyasa purvaka jnana nishtha rupat, that is why it is extremely essential that we have withdrawn completely from the whole undertakings and not gone to sleep and not become lazy and not become anyway God will take care. No, that is not the purpose. That is not the meaning. When none of the worldly things ever enchant your mind and the mind is not sleeping, in such a mind there is Atma Jigyasa. In such a mind there is inquiry about the truth. I have come across many people, very good people, very sincere people, and they have done nothing but good to the world. But look within. How long the same thing? How long will you do good to the world? The best example I remember, one old man who was in Calcutta. I was staying in somebody's house, there also, he also came. And the words are so pernicious in his mouth. He was a social worker in Nagaland. He has started some organization as inspired by Mahatma Gandhi and Vinoba Bhave. Those people were far away and this fellow went there at the age of 16. I want to do something for the nation, something for the God, something. And you do it. What will you do? To impose your views on the society. Please understand this basic principle. All the good that we do to others is only to impose our views on others. So he went, he did that not for a day or two, but 50, 60 years. Old fellow he was. And what was the conclusion? The world is like a dog's tail. If you really served somebody, you will not become bitter. See? If bitterness comes in mind, then it was not a service at all. It was only the satisfaction of the ego. He is a great Dharmatma. He has renounced everything. Now he is holding on to the welfare of the society. But the society doesn't want the welfare. So he is becoming frustrated. See? If you have this notion in your mind, that with this knowledge I will go and teach the whole world and make everybody wise, guarantee is you will be frustrated. But who wants this knowledge? Therefore, this all knowledge must make us extremely subjective. And as the result of this, if somebody is benefited, it is a byproduct. Don't claim at all. Like, many people, they come and tell, Swamiji, you have really changed our lives. I said, don't blame me. You wanted to change, therefore you change. You are not the only person who is listening. Millions are listening, but everybody is not changing. So it is unless we want to change ourselves, even God will fail. Therefore here, these two things are emphasized by Bhagwan Shankaracharya. Tacha, that Nishreyasam, Sarva Karma Sannyasa Purvakat, Atmajnana Nishtha Rupat Dharmat Bhavati. This is possible only from these two things. Enough of getting involved in this world. And second, focusing your attention only on the absolute reality. Then you call it a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew or anything, who cares? The truth is important. So unless we are committed to the reality, the truth will never be revealed. Now, Tatha imam eva Gitartha dharmam uddishya bhagavata eva uktam. Sahi dharmaha suparyaptaha brahmanaha padavedane iti anugitaso. So, iti anugitaso, in the Anugita, Bhagwan himself referred to this Bhagavad Gita, where he said that Brahmanaha padavedane, for the realization of the Brahman. See, tataha padam tat parimargitavyam, that Brahmanaha padam. So, Brahmanaha padam vedane, padavedane, for the realization of the truth. Sahi dharmaha suparyaptaha. That dharma, that explanation or the lifestyle or the thinking process which was expounded in Bhagavad Gita, that alone is suparyaptaha, is more than enough. So if we follow what is taught in Gita in our life, that should be enough for us to realize the truth. But then so many people are talking on Gita, nothing is happening to them. Don't worry about others. We are not in this world to evaluate. If it is nothing happening to us, then we should worry. Kincha anyadapi tatraiva uktam. And also the same thing is said in other places. Naiva dharmi na cha dharmi na chaiva na shubha shubhi. So, the one who is neither the dharmi, adharmi, shubha, ashubhi, etc. and yaha syad ekasane linaha tushnim kinchit achintayan. So he who has gone beyond the dharma, adharma, see, anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat, anyatra smat krita kritat. So, naiva dharmi na cha dharmi na chaiva hi shubha shubhi. So he has gone beyond all the relativity. And yasyad ekasane linaha. And he who is firmly abiding in this one absolute reality, eka asane linaha, or is firmly seated in one place, that means seated in the reality, then tushnim kinchit achintayan, then he is absolutely quiet, including the thoughts. There is no more thinking process going on. So this is what is called as the realization of the truth. In Kathopanishad, if you remember, yada panchavatiष्ठन्ते jnanani manasasah buddhischa na vicheshtate tamahu paramam gatim. So when all the sense faculties are stayed in their own sockets, there are no confusions, doubts, thoughts, sankalpa, vikalpa in the mind. Buddhischa na vicheshtate. There is no ownership of presence or absence of thought. Tamahu paramam gatim. That means when the total prakriti is quietened, then the truth is revealed. So, yasyadekasane linaha tushnim kinchit achintayan. Jnanam sannyasa lakshanam iti cha. And so also in the third quotation it is said, Jnanam means what? Sannyasa lakshanam. See how it is true and how it is wrongly understood, interpreted. Those who are grihasthas, they are always against the sannyasis. And they will say, all the rishis of the yore were all rishis, married people, not sannyasi. This is Shankaracharya started. Earlier it was not like that. They will have that condemnation. And what is the meaning of this statement, Jnanam Sannyasa Lakshanam? When you come to realize that nothing ever belongs to you or everything belongs to you, both ways. Can there be any attachment to anything? See? When you know everything in your house belongs to you, you will not have differentiated attachment to different things. Everything belongs to you. Or when you go to a 5-star hotel and you know nothing belongs to you. So there you live very happily but without attachment to anything. So Jnanam Sannyasa Lakshanam means correct knowledge will liberate you from attachment to the worldly things and beings. And that is very, very important. So, Jnanam Sannyasa Lakshanam. Sannyasa doesn't mean that to have only the ochre robe and then the ashram and the disciples and the pada puja and the head puja. One place I was given, I went somewhere, head bath as the honor. I said, only do whatever you like, what can I do? So, Swamiji, in our tradition, we don't wash only feet, we give head bath. So I was feeling very funny. I said, start. Then I was sitting on the nice, beautiful asana and everything. And then they started putting something on my head. I said, to milk I am allergic from inside outside. Don't put milk, put only water. And then they have put lot of water, all my clothes dried, weight and everything. And then kumkum and everything. So, sannyasa does not mean anything to do with your clothes or any name, etc. Neyasya nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati. 5th chapter Gita. That is sannyasa, what is meant over here. Jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. If anything in this world attracts our mind, if anything in this world creates a revolt in our mind, if anything in this world creates any thought process in our mind, we are not sannyasi. The mind has to be like the mirror, perceive everything, project nothing. So, Jnanam Sannyasa Lakshanam. Iha picha ante uktam Arjunaya. Here also, iha asmin Bhagavad Gitayam, Bhagavad Gita su, plural, because of the honor to be given. So here also, ante uktam Arjunaya. At the end, to Arjun, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, what he said? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja iti. So give up everything and come back to me, the absolute reality. Now here, this statement is interpreted by everybody according to their convenience, All of us live in this world, including the spiritual practice, which is convenient to us. Like, Ekadashi, Vratam. Now the Ekadashi remains the same, but it is practiced by different people differently. Go to the north, it is different. Go to the central provinces, it is different. Go to the south, except rice, eat anything, Ekadashi. Such a lovely Ekadashi, who doesn't want? Go to the Gujaratis and Marathis, lots of wonderful dishes. Go to the north, Punjabis and Rajasthanis and all that, lots and lots of milk, peda, barfi, Ekadashi. So, we all find out the meaning which is convenient to us. Here also, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam charanam vraja. Those who are the followers of the path of duality and devotion, see, Bhagavan told, there is no other God like Rama or like anybody, only Krishna is everything. And if you go to Shiva's temple, gone. You will be doomed for good. Never you will come out. Krishna alone is. He himself said. Same thing is said by Shiva also in Shiva Gita. So, the other people say, Dekho, Sharanagati, Mamekam Sharanam Raja. In Sharanagati, you surrender your ego. Now, the third people. Find out what is yours that you can give up. Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up everything. Means what? Find out what is yours, then only you can give up, You cannot give up my watch. Swamiji, I give up your watch to somebody. I'll give you one. You can give up something if it belongs to you. Now what is this in this world that belongs to us? So when it is said Sarva dharman parityajya, come to realize nothing ever belongs to in this world. The moment you come to realize, you have already renounced. Renunciation is nothing but realization of the fact that nothing ever belongs to us, including our own body. So, iha chapi ante yuktam arjunaya sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Abhyudhayartha api yaha pravritti lakshano dharmaha varnashramancha uddishya vihita sa devadi sthana prapti hetuhu api san ईश्वरार्पण बुद्ध्या अनुष्ठीयमानः सत्वशुद्धये भवति फल अभिसंधि वर्जितः. Now here also, यहाँ प्रवृत्ति लक्षणः धर्मः. We were told that dharma is two facets. One is pravritti, one is nivritti. Now what is the purpose of the pravritti lakshana dharma? That which is getting involved in the dharma. So, yaha pravritti lakshana dharma abhyudayartha. It is for attainment of material prosperity. Now, material prosperity, what we can think? We can think material prosperity means if I am, in Jumritalaya, I should go to Bhopal. If I am in Bhopal, I should come to Bombay. If I am in Bombay, I should go to UK. If I am in UK, I should go to USA. When I am in USA, I am frustrated. I should come to India. So, abhyudaya, what we mean is the prosperity related to this world alone. But this is nothing. Then what is the real prosperity? Going in the higher realm of existence. Living in the realm of bhur, bhuva, swaha, mahajara, satyam, tapaha. And that is called a devatadi lakshanaha. See, devatadi sthana prapta hetuhu. Living as a mortal and all the time under the fear of death. And living as the Yamaraj himself. And frightening every mortal in this world. See the difference? So living as the fire god. Or living as the Varuna Devata. or the Indra Devata. So these are the different levels of existence. And all these attainments, starting from your salary up to the Indra Pada, Yamya Pada, everything falls in the samsara. See? Because it is in relativity. Yamaraj is operating only if there is somebody to kill. Isn't it? There was one lady, she was praising her child. Swamiji, my child is very intelligent. I said, that is the problem with every child. They are very intelligent. Yes, Swamiji, she stood first in the class. Now the child doesn't know. She said simply, Swamiji, I am the only one in my class. When you are only in your class, there is no choice, you will be always first. So here also, if you are Yamaraj and there is nobody to kill, what will you do with that Yamya Padam? If you are a minister without ministry, what will you do? In the same manner, all these Abhyudaya, material prosperity, attainment of authorities, right from the worldly things up to the otherworldly achievements. So, Devata adi sthana prapto evtu apisan, when all these pravrutti lakshana dharmaha, varnashramancha uddishya, and when this dharma was practiced, keeping in view all the varna, ashrama, everything in mind, when it is practiced, one attains the higher worlds. Although this is so, Ishvararpana buddhya anushthiyamanaha, when the same dharma, when the same karma is practiced as our offering to the Lord, you will not get various positions. Then what will happen? Bhagavan says, Sattva Shuddhaye Bhavati. Your mind is purified. See? So there are two things. One is this Abhyudaya Dharma, and second is Nishreyasa. So Abhyudaya is material prosperity which will give you higher positions but keep you in relativity. And relativity is relativity. It has no qualitative change. See, it is something like, a person who is walking, he looks at another person going on a bicycle, he feels, he is lucky, I am not getting a bicycle. I have to walk all the distance every time. Now the one who is on the bicycle, he looks at the motor bicycle, see, every time I have to paddle, sometimes this, sometimes that, I don't know. Oh God, when will I get a motorcycle? The motorcycle fellow, he looks at Hanumanji. When I get out of 2 wheels, 4 wheels, that will be better. I should get one Maruti. Then he gets Maruti. Then that Maruti wala, is he happy? No. He feels, if I get, an imported big car, that will be good. In Maruti, it becomes so congested, Swamiji, it becomes very difficult. When people talk like that, I enjoy. Why? Because now money has come in the pocket, therefore the money is talking. Nothing. Earlier they were comfortable in the same Maruti car. Then after you get this thing, I am so tired, staying, in this, we must have a farmhouse. And there is all, whatever you are getting. One thing is true, you are holding on in the relative existence. See, the moment you become a guru, relativity begins. Shishya is there to eat your head. The moment you become a husband, your wife will starve. Because when she will start eating your head and you don't have, so she will have to starve. That's why wives are thin. So, Abhyudhayartaha api yaha pravritti lakshano dharma varnashramancha uddishya vihitaha sa devadi sthana prapti hetuhu api. Although it is going to lead to the higher attainment, yet Ishvararpana buddhya anushthiyamanaha. But when it is practiced as our offering to the Lord, therefore yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Sangam tyaktva, sangam with what? Attachment to what? Attachment to the results of karma. So when there is no expectation of any kind, your mind starts getting more purer and purer. So, sattva shuddhaya bhavati phala abhisandhi varjitaha. Because there will not be any connection, association with the phala, the result of action. That means all the karma which are done with a view to get the results, if you do them properly, you will get the results. And what is the result? Remaining in the prison of relativity. But those who don't understand that they are bound, what can you do to them? One person told me, Swamiji, earlier I used to be very happy, but since I started listening to some scriptural thing here and there, I started becoming more miserable. I said, this happens. This is called as homeopathy treatment. I said, what is the reason why you are feeling? He said, earlier I used to be very happy, but now every time you people go on telling you are in bondage, you are in bondage. No, I am miserable. Where is the bondage? I am not seeing the bondage. I said, that is the beauty of the bondage. You will not know that you are bound. So, when all our activities are done without any expectation, what happens? The mind becomes purer and purer. What is the meaning of mind becoming purer? The likes and dislikes are erased from the mind. What is to be done? Yes, it should be done. When you insist, I will not do it, impressions are made. When you insist, I will do it, impressions are made. Both the things. Na dveshti akushalam karma kushal ena anusajjate. In the 18th chapter, Bhagavan will tell us. The one who is not against those karmas which he doesn't like, and one who doesn't insist on doing a particular type of thing, he alone is liberated from the karma. And the technique is this, our kartavya karma has to be completed as a part of our life. See? Therefore, abhyuthayarthaha api yaha pravritti lakshano dharma varnashramancha uddishya vitaha sa devadi sthana prapti hetu api san ishvararuna buddhya anushthiyamanaha sattva shuddhaye bhavati phala abhisandhi varjitaha. Because now there are no more expectations, because everything is done for the sake of the Lord. Ishvararpana buddhya. Now, unless our mind has become purified, we will never have the tattva jidnyasa. This is what Bhagavan says. Shuddha sattvasya cha jnana nishtha yogyata prapti dvarena jnanotpatti hetutvena cha nishreyasa hetutvam atvi pratipadyate. See the relationship. Shuddha sattvasya cha. And the one who has got pure heart. Now be very attentive. What is the meaning of pure heart? Normally what we say, pure heart means, when anybody is, in difficulty, he starts crying. Very pure heart. That is not purity of the heart. That is emotional blackmailing. Please understand. Never get carried away. That is not purity of the heart. That is the weakness of the heart. Then, what is the purity of the heart? Jnana nishtha yogyata prapta. You have become qualified to understand the import of the scriptural statement. If that is happening, then your mind is pure. If after hammering 300 times nothing goes in, then we have to do the gobar treatment. Here in our Kailadam, do you know that there is a gobar treatment? There are many, these Westerners, they come and then they want to become Hindu. And okay, become, we don't compel. If you want to become, you become. What you have to do? Take that cow dung, they go and collect cow dung. And then apply cow dung on your whole body with your own hands. And then Om Bhadram Karane Vishnuyavadeva mantra goes on. And those impressions go so deep in their mind that now I had definitely become Hindu. I have become. See, these are all the, the psychological blackmailing in every religion. In Goa, how the Hindus became Christian. In the collective village well, they will go and put one beef piece, and the people will drink water from there. And they say, we have put a cow's meat over there in that. So all those who have taken, they have already taken baptisma. And all of them have become Christian. See, this is how the weaklings are easily subjected to all this modification. That is not purity of the mind. That is weakness of the mind. What is the purity of the mind? Jnana nishtha yogyata prapti. That is the purity of the mind. By that, jnanotpatti hetutvena. Therefore, this nishkama karma yoga becomes the cause for attainment of the purity of the mind. Pure mind is capable of recognizing the truth, and by that capability, jnanotpatti, one is able to realize the truth. And therefore, this becomes ultimately nishreyasa hetutvam api pratipadyate. Therefore, karma becomes indirectly the means of attainment of the absolute if it is practiced not for gaining anything in this world, but only for the purification of the heart. Make this point very clear in your understanding. Then you will understand further. Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhai. Now see, if this we have understood, what will happen? Whatever we are doing outside in the world, our attention will be on our mind. Take for example, I don't know if I told you, there was one doctor. She came with us 2 busloads to Badrinath. And on way Rudraprayag, because we had to stop for some time, tea, coffee, we stopped. In India, the moment they say, Babaji, queue lag jata hai, they start doing namaskar. And you have no choice. So I was standing, do namaskar, who cares? What can you do? So that doctor, she asked me this question, Swamiji, how you must be feeling, isn't it? So many people are doing namaskar. So suddenly I told those people, stop. And I did namaskar to that doctor. I said, she is my mother. Now tell me, will you do salutation to the son or the mother? Mataji ko karenge. Say, she is Mataji, she is my also mother. The whole lot. And I was watching. Afterwards, she became so angry with me. For the whole trip, she did not talk. And I used to go and do namaskar to her. Amma. He says, Swamiji, you are a criminal. You are torturing me. I said, I have replied to your question. See? I said, do you know why you are suffering? And why I don't suffer? Because you have not understood. Those who are doing namaskar, they are purified, they are benefited. Those who are receiving namaskar, they are not. They are sufferers. And to protect from the sufferings of this namaskar, we don't receive. See? You may do namaskar, but whether I receive or not, that is my choice. See how important it is. Once you understand this principle, then you will understand this whole principle of karma. When we are doing karma and we know the impact of this karma should fall on our mind and not outside, so what will happen? Atma Shuddhi. Mind will be purified. And the purified mind has this lakshanam, this symptom. Symptom is your mind is naturally absorbed in the contemplation, in the study of the scriptures. It has to happen. And when such a mind, which is naturally propelled for the study of the scriptures, can never get enchanted by anything outside. Take a simple thing, suppose you are reading some novel, and if the novel is really catching hold of you, nothing outside disturbs you. Imagine that knowledge which takes you to your own essential self. How absorbing it must be. This is what is meaning of this karma, leading to the purification of the mind. And after the mind is purified, there is the tattva jijnasa, and then by the tattva jijnasa alone we study scriptures, know the truth, and this is how this karma leads ultimately, indirectly, for the nishreyasa hetutvam, become the cause. Hetu is cause, the cause of realization. Tatha cha imam eva artham abhisandhaya vakshati. Keeping this in view, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the same Bhagavad Gita, Brahmanyadhaya karmani. The wise people do all the activities as they are offering in the reality. Brahman. Brahmani adhaya. Like that's why Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. So everything is done for the Lord, by the Lord, to the Lord. Other than the Lord, there is nothing. So Brahmani adhaya karmani. And second quotation is Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye iti. So who is a now karma yogi? Karma yogi is not the one who is doing samaseva. Karma yogi is not the one who is engaged in the politics. Karma yogi is not the one who is giving donation and getting his name fixed on a stone. No. Be very clear. Don't leave any doubt in your mind. Anything that will strengthen this waking world as real, we are going away from the truth. Because the waking world has got meaning only when we are identified with the body, not otherwise. So it is only 1/3 of the experience, not the remaining 2/3 remains unaccounted. So tatha cha evam evartham abhisandhaya vakshati brahmanyadhaya karmani yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So whatever we are doing, result should be observed on the mind. Therefore, the other day somebody asked me, one Amma, she has been doing this devotion for many years, and she always says, Swamiji, I like your everything except this meditation and knowledge. In devotion you are able to help me so much. The moment you come in meditation, what is the need? When I am seeing Krishna everywhere, I don't know. I said, don't worry, you take whatever you like. I am a departmental store. Take whatever you like. You don't have to take everything. The same lady, after about 15 years now, one day she came, Swamiji, now I have started understanding what is the meaning of meditation, what is the meaning of knowledge. Now I understand. I said, never mind, slowly. There is no hurry. Even if you don't understand, it doesn't make any difference. So, when our mind becomes purer and purer, then you will understand that every mantra is directed towards absolute reality. If that is happening, then our mind is pure. Otherwise, we become objective and get lost in relativity. So, imam dvi prakaram dharmam nishreyasa prayojanam paramartha tattvam cha vasudevakyam parabrahma abhidheya bhutam visheshataha abhivyanjayat vishishta prayojana sambandha abhidheyavat Gita Shastram. Therefore, imam dvi prakaram dharmam. These two types of aspects of dharma told in Bhagavad Gita. Which are the two aspects now? Pravritti and nivritti. Involvement and withdrawal. And both of them are directed towards what? Nishreyasa prayojanam. So whether you are doing karma or whether you are following the path of devotion or yoga or knowledge, ultimately all of them should help in realizing the truth as your own essential self or realizing you as the truth itself. That is the purpose. So, imam dviprakaram dharma nishresa prayojanam paramartha tattvam cha vasudevakyam parabrahma. And this paramartha tattva called as vasudevakyam parabrahma, which is in the form of Vasudeva in this Bhagavad Gita, avideya bhutam visheshataha, having taken this exclusive manifestation of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, so that we are able to comprehend an unmanifest reality. Vishishta prayojana sambandha avideyavat Gita Shastram. So in this Gita Shastra, that Parabrahma, which is the Nishreyasa, to be sought through pravritti and nivritti, is none other than absolute reality, and that absolute reality has taken the form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna called as the Vasudeva, and to attain that Vasudeva all efforts are made. This is what is the Bhagavad Gita Shastra. Yataha tadarthe vijñate samasta purushartha siddhihi. And therefore, because of this above statements and understanding, tadarthe vijñate, when we come to realize the meaning of Vasudeva, when we come to realize the meaning of Brahman, when we come to understand the position of the karma, when we understand the position of the knowledge, inquiry and realization, tadarthe vijñate, when this happens, samartha purushartha siddhi, all that is to be attained in life is attained. Samartha purushartha siddhi. What is the samartha purushartha? Samartha purushartha is the parama purushartha, moksha purushartha, mokshakya purushartha, dharma artha kama moksha. So one is attaining liberation from all the limitations, including the I. So it is not the liberation of I, but it is the liberation from I. Ataha, therefore, tad vivarane yatnaha kriyate maya. Therefore, this effort is put forward by me so that one is able to attain the absolute in one's life, in this very life. With this, Bhagavan Shankaracharya has introduced in the Sambandha Bhashya what Bhagavad Gita is all about. Now, you will see the whole first chapter and 10 verses of the second chapter. Up to there, Bhagavan Shankaracharya has not commented one word. He imagined we know in Sanskrit. So you read and understand. And directly his commentary begins as introduction to the 11th verse. Then what should we do? If we are studying Shankar Bhashya, we should bypass or we should study? I think we can study fast. We don't have to spend too much of time on this. But this first chapter is very important. Many people have this notion, first chapter there is nothing. I tell you my experience about this first chapter. This happened in Delhi. Ayyappa Swami temple in R.K. Puram. And a person who was the president of that temple, somebody South Indian Keralite, he was the personal secretary to the President of India for 3 presidents. Starting from Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. You can imagine what status he must have been living all through his life. And when I told I'll take first chapter, he was so disappointed and disgusted. He said, no, change. Take something, second chapter. There are many better chapters in Bhagavad. What is there in the first chapter? I said, anyway, we have decided we will take this. Okay, if you don't want to change, what can I do? I said, all right, we will take this first chapter. And then he came for all the 7 days. And on the 7th day, we had dinner somewhere. That day alone he came with me for dinner. All other days he refused. And last day, then I didn't ask him to come. But he himself said, Swamiji, I will come with you for dinner. I said, come. We went. And when I went there, sat, then first of all he said, Swamiji, before you start your dinner, let me do pranam to you. And then you know that South Indian type of pranam, Sashtang, Dandavit and all these things, that thing. I am so and so, son and so and so, Abhivade, the whole thing was. Then he said, then he introduced himself. I have been the principal secretary to the government of India's president of India for 3 presidents. I have read so many things, this, that, and whole knowledge he has given. Like Naradji gave his knowledge to Sanat Kumarji. In Chandogya Upanishad, this topic comes. I said, all right, very good. He said, but nowhere I have come across importance given to first chapter of Gita. And now I understand what mistake I have done in suggesting you on the first day that don't take this Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing in that in the first chapter. So don't misunderstand. Because if first chapter was not important in Bhagavad Gita, it would not have been included at all. It started from the 25th chapter in the Bhishma Parva. They could have very well started from 26th. Why this is included? This is the foundation. But most of the people, they just go ahead. Because then they feel, now directly Sita Pragya Lakshana and Karma Yoga. But all that is meaningful, only this is understood. If this is understood, the whole Bhagavad Gita becomes a snap. Quickly you will be able to comprehend. Therefore, do not underestimate the importance of the first chapter of Gita. Now, the first chapter of Gita brings out many important principles, many important characters. And each character has got a tremendous presence in our own personality at different periods of time. So although we will be studying this as an objective event which took place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra more than 5,000 years before, the same thing is worthy of observing what is happening in our mind. And when you are able to relate yourself with the events of that time, with what is happening in your mind at this moment, and you will go through the whole experience. If you understand the first chapter of Gita, other 17 chapters are quickly understood. So, don't have this logic. When Bhagavan Shankaracharya has not written, why should you? That is not the right logic. Bhagavan Shankaracharya has to write Sankshepataha, and writing is different than talking. So here we begin the first chapter. Prathamodhyayaha Dhritarashtra uvacha Dharma kshetre kurukshetre Samaveta yuyutsavaha Mamaka pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Many people, commentators, they have concluded what is said in Bhagavad Gita? These are all the gimmicks of the erudite scholars. This tells their scholarship. Like many times you must have heard Mahatmas, when they use one word to say, they will go on using alternative half a dozen, 10, 15 words. And the listener is not stopping, one after another word coming. That is more of erudition and scholarship. Same thing here about Bhagavad Gita, they say. What is said in Bhagavad Gita? See the first word, dharma. See the last word, mama. What is said in Bhagavad Gita? Mama dharma. What is our dharma? Hindu dharma. See? This is how the whole thing is brought out. One way of looking at it. Dhruva nitir matir mama. The last word is mama and first word is dharma. So dharma mama or mama dharma is indicated. And what is mama dharma? Mama dharma is pravrutti lakshana and nivrutti lakshana. So what Bhagavad Gita tells, have the responsibility to get involved in the world and also have the wisdom to withdraw from the world. A perfect balance is necessary. This is how this Bhagavad Gita begins. Now Dhritarashtra Vacha. This is the only verse attributed to Dhritarashtra. And see, this verse, Dhritarashtra Vacha, what is the meaning of Dhritarashtra? Dhruta, Dhru is the dhatu. And Kta Pratyayanta Krudanta. You have studied, isn't it? Dhruta it will become. Gad, Gadita. So Dhruta. So the one who is holding on to. Rashtra here means a chair. The one who is holding on to the chair of the kingship is Dhritarashtra. He who doesn't want to give up hold on this relative existence. So for that purpose, all of us are Dhritarashtra, holding on to this gross world, achievement and the failures, honor and the dishonor, joy and the sorrows of this gross world is the only thing in our life. And that alone we want to hold on to. And who was he? He was blind. Are we not blind to our own experiences? We are very clearly every day know that the moment there is a gross body identification, the gross world begins. So the problem is neither in the world nor in the body, but it is in the identification with the body. Similarly, when I identify with somebody, then the problem begins. When I don't identify with anybody, there are no problems. So Dhritarashtra is every one of us who is blind by birth. See, by birth we are blind. All the time living as the body, for the body, on everybody. So Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Such a blind person, when he will talk, do you think he will talk anything about wisdom? Never. A person who has got a daughter to be married. There was one daughter, she was telling me, she said, Swamiji, Kali Yuga has come. I said, why Kali Yuga has come suddenly? See, my mother. I said, what is to be seen in your mother in Kali Yuga? She is not at all worried about my marriage. So I said, mother, tell what your daughter is telling. So mother says, Swamiji, I am telling her, don't get married. I have suffered sufficiently. Why do you want to suffer? Remain alone and enjoy yourself. There is no need to get married. So I said to that daughter, I said, see, what she is telling is true. You are also like that. But at least you didn't get married. She got married and then she is telling. So I will also tell to my daughter after I get married. See? We get so blindfolded that this relative world alone becomes the real world for us. So such a Dhritarashtra will always talk about only me and mine. He cannot talk about anything. And this is how our story begins. Ahanta and Mamata. These are the two ropes by which we tie ourselves down. See? I and mine. I and mine. So, this Dhritarashtra Vacha. So, this is the eternal statement of every blind man who has mistaken himself to be the gross body and thereafter living in the relative existence. In the relative existence means what? Living in relation to somebody. Husband, wife, father, son, brother, mother. So, such a Dhritarashtra, this is the eternal statement of an ignorant man. Ever the same. What did he say? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsvaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. It appears he has asked a question. First of all, I will give you the simple translation and then we will analyze, work it out. Hey Sanjaya, address is made to Sanjay because Sanjay was going to tell him everything. So, Dhritarashtra is the one who refuses to wisdom. He is Dhritarashtra. One example I will tell you. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, this story comes. The plot is same standard plot. One king, hundreds of queens, but no child, therefore miserable. Same thing. And then the Mahatma has to come, and the Mahatma comes. And the Mahatma tells, forget about having children in this life. Next 7 lives, you will have no children. I don't want your philosophy, I don't want your Vedanta, I want a child. See, we are not open to wisdom. So that Mahatma says, look here, now you are miserable because you don't have a child. Then you will become miserable because you will have a child. So in short, being miserable is a common factor. I don't want your logic, I don't want your, I want my, this is called a Dhritarashtra. The one who is not open to wisdom is Dhritarashtra. See? Now another meaning of Dhritarashtra is the one who is firmly rooted in the wrong notions of life. Wrong notions about 3 things. One, about ourselves, who am I? First wrong notion. Second wrong notion, what the world is. And third wrong notion, who the God is, who created this miserable world. So he who is blind and he who is happy being blind, he doesn't want to see the light. There is one blind man, he is a doctorate, and he is very good in Sanskrit and Tibetan language, and so many people come from Japan, Tibet, China to study. He can't read, but he simply listens, and with that he remembers everything. So it so happened once that somebody just wanted to see, he said, let me see your eyes, what is wrong and all that. After seeing that, that person said, hey, your vision can come back. There is no problem. I guarantee it will come back. Now that man is about 30, 32. He refuses. He said, I don't want to see it. See? Dhritarashtra. He was given the vision by Bhagwan Vedavyas. This is the 18-day international, the last one in your life. I give you the vision by which you will be able to see. He said, I don't want to see. Because To look at the world, to see the realities of life, you require courage. That is why many of us are afraid on the seat of meditation. Then what we do? Somehow or the other, start feeling whether the body is there or got dissolved. Or the fear comes. Suppose I sit for meditation and I start levitating, going up, what will happen? All these things are only because of the fear that I may lose body identification. And after that I will die. Because only as a body I am living. Therefore, Dhritarashtra means the one who is not only blind but who is holding on to the blindness. He who is allergic to wisdom is Dhritarashtra. And such a Dhritarashtra will always talk the language of I and mine. I and mine. No other language can be spoken. And this goes to every extent. Whether it is an ignorant child, this is my mother, my father, my sister, or this is the wise Mahatma, this is my ashram, that is his ashram. And when that Mahatma dies, and then the disciples are there, then in Uttar Pradesh, there is one ashram where Lord Hanumanji, the main deity, when the Mahatma was there, the Hanumanji was right in the center. And both side ashrams spread. Mahatma died. Two disciples divided the ashram. In the center line came Hanumanji. So one side of people, they wanted to have shelter on Hanumanji. So they have constructed the wall like this up to Hanumanji, and then again backside there is a wall. And in between that, these two incomplete wall, Hanumanji is sitting there. And this side people have put a shelter on Hanumanji. Other side we don't want. So Hanumanji must be feeling so disgusted. And what is that? My ashram, your ashram. See? This ahanta and mamata, these are the two strongest viruses which we have to take care. And for that is the character of Dhritarashtra to be clearly understood. Remaining we will see in next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purname Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.